Hi, welcome to Linear Algebra. If you are watching this, that means that I am not there to teach you, and I miss teaching you. Teaching to the camera is going to be different from teaching you if I was in the room with you. I will try to not go too slow. I will also try not to repeat things. It is up to you to pause the video when you need to pause and work something out. It is up to you to re-watch these videos, and you should probably do that a lot of times. Re-watch and pause as you work through this handout. You should print this handout before watching any of these videos. There's a lot of material that I will talk about that is not written on the handout. The handout is like a book, and just like when you read any book, the book was written by an author, not written by you. In math, as you read any math book, you need to be doing your own work, showing your own steps where the book does not show all the steps. You should take those notes on the handout. That will be the best place for those notes. Unless you have so much that you want to do that you have a separate notebook, that would be fine too. I will have a whiteboard that I will show you with extra information on it. This is a good example of things that you can put on your notes. These things in particular I'll talk about a little bit later. This handout is broken up into 4 main parts, and that's what I have here on this whiteboard. These correspond to roughly what would be 4 days of class that this handout is meant to cover. The first section is definitions. Page 1 is all these definitions, and this is very dry material. You might want to skip this on your first time through the handout, but definitely refer back to this section because you won't. This is where we introduce the language that's in all the rest of the handout. Probably the best place for you to start would be the examples. The examples, those will be the easiest parts of the handout to read and to start understanding. There's also this fundamental theorem of linear algebra. This here is the main theme of this, one of the main results of the entire semester. That's why they call it fundamental theorem. We introduce it at the beginning and we return to it at the end. The second part of this handout is centered on projection. There's a lot of good geometry here and a lot of pictures that will be up on this whiteboard that you should draw onto your page for projection. This is the geometry of linear algebra. There's also a smaller section on orthogonal and orthonormal basis. These sections together should be the equivalent of the second day of class on this chapter 3. These two together should be enough material to get you through the first homework assignment. There are 2 homework assignments from Chapter 3. Sections 3.1 and 3.2 are the first 2 parts of this handout. Sections 3.3 and 3.4 are the second 2. Now here, these 2 are in a different order than in the book. We're going to start with the Graham-Schmidt process that is in the textbook in Section 4, and we will then use those concepts to solve the least squares problem, which is introduced in the textbook in Section 3. In the least squares section, there is something called the projection theorem. The projection theorem is not in the textbook. The projection theorem is a little bit beyond where you really need to go in this class. Consider this bonus material, this projection theorem. There's a lot of really good math that is, again, beyond this class, just extra and very good to know. The focus for least squares should be the end of the handout, applications. There are some example problems that go kind of like some of the homework, and between the homework and these extra problems, that's where the focus of this chapter 3 should be, is being able to solve problems in applications, which you'll see as you go through this handout. All this theory is absolutely critical to understanding and working our way through the applications. So enjoy this handout. I hope you enjoy learning this as much as I would enjoy teaching you And remember to email me with your questions. Maybe we can even set up a Skype appointment.